Yeah, I just think it's something we have to do if we want to have a true traditional champ with 11 teams. You got to get your 20 games in. So, yeah, I mean, I think you have to do that. I think every team in the league should play each other twice to get a true regular season champion and the number one seed. So, different for sure. But, our guys are looking forward to it.
Very good Cleveland State team comes down on ours. What have you seen from them, Phil?
Just a typical Cleveland State team. Very tough, very well coached. Play a lot of guys, play together. 7 guys coming back from a team that went to the championship game. So a lot of winners on that team. Guys that have been through a lot together. Their coach does a great job, and their staff gets their guys ready to go. So, a very tough opponent.
I know you're 6 games in. What are you missing anything that you want to see?
Yeah, we talk with our guys all the time about winning the turnover margin. We're not winning that battle right now. Teams are plus 22. They got 88 assists, 66 turnovers. We've got to do a better job of winning the turnover battle, creating easy baskets. I thought we did a tremendous job of valuing the ball against Dayton and obviously making 13 threes. We just were unable to turn them over. I thought that was the difference in the game. And then our transition D has got to get better, Dana. Got to continue to stop the ball and communicate and really force 3 passes. I think that's the key to transition D. Get your defense set. And then you got to make teams earn baskets. If we can get to that point, I think this team will score the ball a lot more and, we'll become a better team.
Cleveland State's averaging 65 points a game in their first 7 or so. What have they done?
Very, very good at turning you over. One of the best in the country. Their steal rate is really, really high. They load to the ball on drives, so you have to make below the free throw line reads. You have to be able to pass against this. They have good size at all positions. They're long, they're lanky, they fly around, they guard the ball extremely high level. So they make it hard on you, Dana, to score. So you got to get some transition, and then you got to make the right reads offensively. Whatever you're trying to accomplish throughout that possession, you've got to screen them. You got to have good off-ball spacing, cutting, all those sorts of things to loosen up their defense. But the reason they've been good is because of their defense, and they've got star power. They got a point guard that can really, really score the basketball and louder. Anaruna is probably right now, he and Trey Towson at Oakland are playing better than anybody in the conference statistic-wise. Those 2 kids can fill up the stat sheet. So, number 13 for them, Anaruna, he's a phenomenal player. Tay Williams is really good. He gave us problems up there last year. He's a 6'4", 6'5", really athletic guard. Knows who he is, really gets to the rim, causes problems. So they've got a good mix. They've got shooting that comes off the bench. Jason Woodrich is a big part of what they do. He creates a lot of high tags. He opens up spacing for those other good players, and he's one of the best pure shooters in our conference. So they've got a lot of weapons.
You mentioned a couple times about how you guys are still kind of trying to build that chemistry and trying to get that better at the right time of year, especially as you get deeper into the season. Where do you feel that's at right now, and where do you think you guys are in that regard?
Yeah, I'm really pleased right now with the growth. I thought last week heading into Dayton, 2 great practices. I thought so far our prep for Cleveland State and Robert Morris and really understanding what Horizon League basketball is all about has been really good. We knew going into the season having 12 new players was certainly going to be a lot of on the floor coaching, but off the floor coaching, just understanding that, these guys are walking into a situation where we're the regular season champs last year, right? And there was really a lot of good teams at the top. The league was decided by 1 game. So trying to get 12 new players to understand how important each game is, the target that we've set here, the standard that we've set here, things we're trying to accomplish. But that's what I love. I love building a team. Our teams have always gotten better. I think we have a good makeup of guys. They got to continue to trust. They got to continue to have good, healthy conflict and work through situations at practice. And then when you get in the game, you're on the same page. And I think they're really working hard to do that.
Coach, not sure if you saw last night, but Oakland beat Xavier. What's that mean for the conference league?
I think it's awesome. I root for all those teams. Coach Campy, I would say of all the other 10 coaches, I talk to him regularly, probably 3 times a week. So I consider him not just a colleague, but a very, very good friend. He was, extremely happy. His kids should be really happy. National TV game, $100,000 payout. Trey Towson was the best player on the floor. I think it speaks volumes for the level that we have, the caliber of players and the team aspect of it. So it only helps us. We looked at all the numbers today, Ken Palm and Torvik, and, winning games really helps your numbers. And that's really what this is about. And I think they're playing as good as anybody in this conference. So I was really pleased for them.
Sure, with your ties to Cleveland State, if my numbers are correct, and when tomorrow night would be your 100th year, what would that mean coming in to program?
Didn't know that. It means we're 1-0 in the league, Dana, right now. I want it for our guys really bad. When you bring in 12 new players, you want to see that light bulb come on and just shine. I want these guys to shine. I want them to see the ball go through the basket. I want to see the excitement that we had in that first half at Dayton. I want to see our bench into the game. I want to see fans back in the building. Really that's what it's about for me. Cleveland State, obviously, myself, Coach Paul, 2 guys that were in my wedding, Bill Buck and Sherman Cartwright. Those guys, Sherm was my roommate. They were student managers for me at Cleveland State, and they're 2 of my best friends still. So I got a lot of good memories there. Coach Massimino was my coach. He was a legend, should be in the Hall of Fame, not in there yet. I've followed that program from afar because I played there. Anytime you play at a university, you follow it. I think all those coaches from Gary Waters to Dennis Gates to now, D-Rob, these guys have done a phenomenal job, Dana, and they have a great culture. And I think their AD is very, very good. I think their AD is, I've been on some calls with him. He's very forward thinking of basketball. He's very knowledgeable of basketball, and he does a good job. So I have a lot of respect for those guys, really do.
Just what's it mean to open up conference play at home here, and just what's the message to the fans to come out and watch this team?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think the format now, 1 at home, 1 on the road, instead of starting 3 years ago, we were picked second in the league. We went 8 out of 10 on the road. It's not a realistic conference back then. Now it's a real schedule, right? It's fair for all 11 teams. It's good for the kids' travel schedule, for their resting time, for their academics, to have 1 game at home, 1 game on the road, pretty much for the most part almost all year, is the way to do it, because now your fans get to see you. You're not away from them. But, I think now's the time to come out, right? Last year we got it rolling. The place was filled. The guy I worked for, and I told our players this about the University of Dayton, and you made the trip, and I really appreciate you doing that. You saw that fan base, right? They're not there to see the other team. They're there to see their team. They were there 50 minutes before the game, 13,000, whatever, 100 some fans every single night, okay? So when you build a program, the fan base should be there to watch your team. It doesn't matter who you play. If you're playing a mid-major, a Power 5, non-1, whoever you play, the fans should be there to see their team. We've got to get back to that, I think, here in all sports. That pride that we have in our being Youngstown State, being the city's team, where you're getting 8,000 to 10,000 for football, you're getting 4,000 to 5,000 in basketball. There's no reason we can't get there, because we see when we fill the place, the numbers show we're really good, right? I think we lost 3 games last year at home. We had a home court advantage. We got to create that. Students are a big part of that. We got to get out tomorrow. We got to get in the student union. We got to drive that home. There's things we got to do. But if you're a student, to me, in the winter, it's a great thing to come inside, warm up, have some camaraderie with people, and watch a good team that really has great potential and is going to win a lot of games.